Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time around, it is a new installment of Talking Cinema. Haven't done one of these videos in a while. The reason for that is because I don't really feel like I had enough topics for a video like this. But it's right after the Super Bowl, and whenever that happens, there's a lot of new movie trailers to talk about and to discuss. So here we are. It's time for some more trailer talk. And since there are some pretty big trailers that just dropped recently, I decided it was a good time for me to share my thoughts on them. Now, I'm gonna go in order here when it comes to the various different trailers that were just recently dropped during the Super Bowl. And the first one I'm going to start with is, I guess I can start with If. Now, If I've seen the main trailer for this a few times, and I've seen a couple different trailers for this movie. I saw the big game spot. I also saw the regular, just shorter TV spot, and the official trailer. And I like the imagination and the creativity visually that's on display in the trailers for If. And I like Ryan Reynolds, but the plot just feels very samey compared to other family films like Monsters Inc. and so on and so forth. And it just has this sort of generic vibe that I'm not too big on. Also, it seems like some of the humor and some of the imaginary ifs lean towards obnoxious, especially Steve Carell's character. And the most recent TV spot that dropped had a fart joke with a gummy bear, which really was not a good a sign for me, because fart jokes to me are lowest common denominator when it comes to comedy, and they rarely ever work. So I'm on the fence about it, but it looks like it has its heart in the right place. I will give it that, but it's not something that I'm really looking forward to. Now, Bob Marley One Love, on the other hand, I am honestly anticipating quite a bit. When it comes to the films that are coming out soon for Valentine's Day, that's the one that I'm the most interested in. Like Madam Web just looks like garbage. It looks like a direct to streaming pilot for a forgettable MCU Marvel show on Disney Plus. Bob Marley One Love, on the other hand, looks like a genuine a contender for like one of the best music biopics ever. And it's not really because I'm a huge fan of Bob Marley's music. Like I don't mind his music, but I'm not like a diehard fan of his. But all the trailers, all the promotional material, everything that I've seen when it comes to this movie, it just seems like it's going to be like a really well made, really well tuned, well oiled music machine. And I I have honestly not seen a single thing in terms of any of the trailers that hasn't really impressed me, especially when it comes to the performances that I've seen from the cast, the direction, and most importantly, the sound design. Like just hearing the trailer in a big theater with all that booming sound and the type of surround sound that only a theater can provide is something really special. And I think that that could really create some really epic, grand moments with that film. Now, on the flip side, A Quiet Place Day One, like that could have some nice sonic moments, like some nice moments of sound, because the Quiet Place films really are great films that utilize sound. to increase tension or suspense or fear and so on. They are unique films in that regard, but this is just another prequel, and I'm just getting kind of tired of this. Like, and honestly, I don't think A Quiet Place ever really needed to be a franchise to begin with, and nothing I've seen when it comes to Quiet Place Day One has really made me feel any different. So it looks like it could be competent and serviceable, but not anything particularly spectacular. Inside Out 2, I don't really have much to say, except it looks like it's got some good animation. I still haven't seen the first Inside Out. Uh Now that I am committing to seeing as many 2024 films as I possibly can that I'm even remotely curious about, I will probably see it. As well as all of the other trailers, all the other films that have trailers that I've already discussed recently or in this video so far. But it's not something that I'm super, super hyped about. I feel the same way about Moana 2. Although I will say this, I think a Moana sequel is a better direction to go than to do another live action reboot of Moana, which is the rumor that I was hearing. So are they still going to be doing the live action Moana with The Rock, or are they just going to be doing the sequel? I hope the live action reboot is has been canned in favor of the sequel, because that never made any sense to begin with. But there's not much to say about the Moana 2 title announcement. It's just a very short clip and the title. That's it. Um Despicable Me 4, hated it. I hate those movies. I hate the Minions, never liked them, never thought they were funny, never thought they were charming. Um that's one that I will skip because I'm not interested in the slightest in seeing that because I just don't like those movies. Um Kung Fu Panda 4, I don't know if we need another Kung Fu Panda. Almost was I don't I almost said like I don't know if we need a Kung Fu Panda. Like we already have a Kung Fu Panda. We have 3 of them and now there's a fourth one coming out. So, that's not accurate. But I don't know. Looks like it could be fun, but there was a fart joke in one of the trailers. Was a fart and a burp joke, which I'm like bodily fluid humor. Like, come on, man. Or not bodily fluid. That's a different kind of humor. Bodily function humor is not really my cup of tea. And it just looks like it's just kind of rehashing things and I don't know. Like the whole chameleon thing is kind of cool, but at the same time it's all like, "Hey, remember these characters from the other movies? They're back again." But not really because it's just some chameleon that's imitating them and it just looks like it could be an okay movie, but not anything as unique or as innovative or as fresh as some of the other Kung Fu Panda films, or at least the first film. Like the first film was actually something fresh and new. This is just kind of more of the same. The Fall Guy, loved it. I genuinely do feel that film legitimately might have everything. Everything that I'm looking for in a film. It looks very entertaining. Ryan Gosling is amazing in the trailers for this film. It seems like it's a role that he was born to play. I love Emily Blunt. It seems like the two of them just have absolutely just spectacular, stunning chemistry. Their chemistry is so good it left me speechless there for a second. And it just looks like a fun movie with a fun vibe, good sense of humor. Looks like it has some good, well shot action. It looks like it's clever. I know it is a new reimagining, so to speak, of the Fall Guy TV series. So it's not 100% original and unique, but it's putting enough of a spin on things that I do feel that it honestly feels and plays out from the advertising alone like it's something that isn't just your typical rehash, reboot, sequel, prequel that that we are seeing so much of as of late. And you know what? I actually got more Deadpool vibes in terms of the tone and the humor from this TV spot for the Fall Guy than I did for Deadpool and Wolverine. And speaking of Deadpool and Wolverine, yeah, as you all know, I am a diehard fan of Deadpool. I was one of the few people that was banging the table for a Deadpool film long before it actually did come out in 2016 because I felt that if they did it right, it could be absolutely spectacular. It could be fantastic and be something that really does make a lot of money in the box office. And I was right. And uh, th- I was also really hyped and excited for a second entry. And when that came out, I also really enjoyed that. The first two Deadpool films are honestly two of my favorite superhero comic book movies of the past decade or so, if not of all time. Like, I love them that much. So this should be a easy win. This should be an easy slam dunk for Disney and Marvel and for the MCU. And for most people, it is. Most people, they love the trailer. They think the trailer was just terrific and they thought it was really funny and it looked like it was going to be the best thing that the MCU has released in years. And the reaction that I got from watching the trailer and watching it numerous times, I've seen this trailer at least 5 times now because I really wanted to kind of pin down my thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine, the trailer. And I'm just indifferent on this. I don't feel the same hype that I did after seeing the Red Band trailer for the first film or seeing the first trailer for Deadpool 2. It just seems like the tone is off and it just doesn't seem like it's as irreverent, as edgy, and it just doesn't necessarily feel like the Deadpool that I know and love. It's like a facsimile. You know, it's got Ryan Reynolds and it's got some of what I like about this character and about these films, but it's still got that Disney MCU sheen on it. And I'm not so sure about that. And a lot of the dialogue and a lot of the things that people are pointing out that are comedy gold, I didn't really find that funny. I'm Marvel Jesus did nothing for me. Um, I wasn't unconscious. That's just a poop joke. Oh, Deadpool crapped his pants. So funny, hilarious. Ha 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 ha. Like, not to me. The pegging line. Okay, that's close. And I do give Disney some credit for actually allowing Ryan to go that far, but it just doesn't seem like the wit is as quick. It doesn't seem like the quality of the dialogue from the trailer is as good as any of the first two trailers for the first two films. And I think that might not necessarily entirely be the fault of Disney. That really might be the fact that when they were filming it, they were doing it during the writer's strike and they couldn't do the improv that really made the first two uh in terms of the comedy. And improv is very vital and integral to Deadpool. And I hope that they did some stuff in post production or something because if they're just working off the script, that's not going to work. There's going to be a few moments that might work and might click comedy wise, but there's going to be a lot of dead air. There's going to be a lot of moments where the comedy is flat because a lot of Deadpool's energy and a lot of what makes Deadpool so fun is that you have that spontaneity. And if you don't have that natural spontaneity with the quips and with the one-liners and with the jokes that stems from improv, you're losing a lot of what makes Deadpool so enjoyable and so genuinely funny. And the action was fine, but it didn't, you know, really excite me a whole lot. It was well shot, and I would say the action is the best part of the trailer for me. The Wolverine stuff, you barely saw anything. We didn't even see like a scene of the two of them walking together and like maybe taking shots at one another verbally. And then the titles drop. Like you don't have to show everything, but just a shadow and like a brief sorry forgive me for some reason I can't speak in this video, probably because I'm just so stunned that the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer was so underwhelming. But all you get is like that little brief little shot of Wolverine from the top in the suit, and that's it. We already have photos that have leaked of the two together. So just show that scene or a portion of that scene. It's not like I'm asking for like all the Deadpool Wolverine bits in the trailer. Also, the fact that okay, we have a Super Bowl spot, but we don't have a red band trailer. Like this is a film that needs a red band trailer like now. Like because Deadpool, they've always had red band trailers. And that's the kind of energy you need with a Deadpool movie. And it seems like it's still going to be rated R, but I have questions because Disney doesn't have a lot of experience doing these kind of films, and neither does Sean Levy. And on top of that, how far is Disney going to really let Ryan and company go with this? Because you already see kind of bits of that in the trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine, which seems like Deadpool's and Wolverine and also Ryan Reynolds and other people involved with the production are being held back a little bit because you have to copy the Marvel formula because you have to connect things. So that's why you have stuff from Loki, which I still haven't seen. So there's going to be a lot of people who haven't seen Loki at all who are going to be like, what the hell is going on? Like, what is TVA and who the hell is this guy? And also, instead of having jokes where Disney is actively allowing the writers to just absolutely destroy the MCU in terms of the lowest points of the MCU right now, She-Hulk twerking, MODOK, and so on and so forth. You just get a scene of just self-fellatio where Deadpool is watching clips from the Avengers movies and saluting Captain America. And that's just a weird vibe to me. And I know it's just from the trailer. Maybe they'll have that, but then they also show the low points. If they do that, if they show a progression, like this is how things were, and then they show how things are now, that would be really funny. And I think that has a lot of potential to really be a genuine crowd pleaser. But if they just do the bit where he salutes Cap, it's like, okay, that's fan service, but that just feels off to me in terms of the tone. And that's the thing, like, this is only going to work with Deadpool being meta, with Deadpool going into the Marvel universe and maybe doing a version of Deadpool kills the Marvel universe. This is only going to work if Disney allows everyone involved to go all the way with it, to go all the way to 11. Like you can't half-ass it. You got to give maximum effort when it comes to something like this, and when it comes to a Deadpool film. So what I don't want to see is something that is like, oh well, you can take shots at 20th Century Fox Marvel properties, but you can't take shots at our stuff, or you can't take too many shots at our stuff because we still have to maintain the integrity of the MCU and the brand. And that's just the kind of stuff that I'm worried about, and that's kind of the vibe that I sort of got from the trailer at times. And it's just not a good feeling to see a Deadpool trailer and not feel like an immense amount of hype and excitement for it, because that's how I felt about the first two trailers. And this was just like the same kind of hype that I felt for your average MCU film that's come out for the past few years, but maybe just a little bit better. Like, I would say Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, kind of on that level. And that film turned out to be kind of disappointing to me. So it's just one of those things where they could nail it. It could be a really fun movie. I could be completely wrong. And if I am, I will be the first to admit it because there's no way in hell I'm not seeing this movie. And I got to be honest. I'm seeing some good signs in terms of promotion, though. And that's some of the clever stuff that I want to see out of Deadpool 3 because the advertising for the first two was just genius. And I'm hoping that we get more of that leading up to the release of this movie. And I'm seeing some signs of that, like Hugh Jackman's Twitter feed and his social media where he edited the poster where he edited the title of the movie from Deadpool and Wolverine to Wolverine and asshole, and he said fixed it. Like that's the kind of stuff that I want to see in the actual film. And I have hope that we're gonna get that because Hugh and Ryan have this really great relationship and they work so well off of one another. And it's just one of those things though where I just have this creepy, not creepy, but this creeping feeling that this is not going to be as good as it could be because of Disney and the MCU and all of the different things that are a part of that pairing and Kevin Feige and his whole influence on things. Um, but just have to wait and see, really. Um, but I know I'm in the minority. Although most people love the trailer, they think it looks amazing. They can't wait to see it. But I have to be honest. That's how I am, and I was disappointed by it. Now, when it comes to the other trailers, um, after Deadpool and Wolverine, there's Wicked Part 1. I can't really say anything about this. I've never seen the Broadway show. I am not the fan base or the audience for this. Ariana Grande is back acting again since her days in Nickelodeon. All right, okay. Jeff Goldblum is getting a paycheck. Good for him. Looks like it has maybe some nice visuals, has some good style to it, but it doesn't really look like my kind of film. Um, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, I'm more interested in than Wicked, but not by much, because it just seems like it's a retread in terms of the story. Oh, it's Planet of Apes again. Oh, but this time it's a Kingdom of Apes. Oh, and there's humans, and the apes are hunting the humans, and there's one ape who doesn't like that and thinks that that's wrong, and that creates a conflict between the apes. So now there's one ape who's probably going to start some warring faction. They're going to team up with the humans, and they're going to go up against these other apes. And I'm like, why should I go ape shit over this? Because this is the same shit, but a different day. Like, okay, you have some nice looking CGI. Cool, good for you. There's some great looking effects. That doesn't mean that this is necessary, especially since we already had 3 of these movies in this reboot series. This just reeks of, oh, we have an established IP and these other films made a lot of money, so let's do another one. That's what this reeks of. And I'll go see it, but I'm not expecting much because it doesn't don't really get a whole lot from the trailer other than deja vu. And then we have Twisters. Twister 2? Like what's next? Speed 3? Like and this time around it's on a train? I mean, who even does train who even goes on trains anymore? Like what is it going to be on a plane? Like I don't understand why this is happening. Who asked for Twister 2? I know I didn't. This is just a desperate nostalgia Hail Mary by Warner Brothers. That's what this is. Like, hey, remember Twister? Here's Twister 2. Twisters. If I want to see a newer Twister movie, I'll just watch Enter the Storm again. At least that had something unique in terms of the found footage angle. This just looks like the same movie as Twister, but suckier. This time it really sucks. Because instead of Bill Paxton and his undeniable charisma and charm, you have Glenn Powell and his douche chill energy. I don't understand why Hollywood is shoving Glenn Powell down our throats. He was fine in Top Gun Maverick, but he wasn't magnificent. It wasn't a breakout role, at least it wasn't to me personally. And he co-starred in a rom-com called Anyone But You to start this year with Sydney Sweeney that I haven't seen because I'm not into rom-coms, but I might see it one of these days just for Sydney Sweeney. But okay, he's in that. And now he's in Twister 2, and he has the same range as an actor that he did in Top Gun Maverick. It hasn't changed, it hasn't budged an inch, and he just has the same douchebag energy. To me, Glenn Powell, he's the living embodiment of bro country. Like, that's the vibe that I get from this guy. And I hate country. See, I can't even say bro country properly because I hate it so much. Like, Glenn Powell's the type of guy you want to punch in the face or see the Twister suck up and send him flying into a tree. He's not the guy that you're like, yeah, I'm rooting for this guy. I can't wait for this guy to drive through a house in the middle of a tornado. And the rest of the cast, a bunch of who gives a shit, and who are these people, and why should I give a fuck? And to make matters worse, you've got really heavy, I guess heavy-handed isn't the right word, but really forced bits of nostalgia bait. Oh, hey, remember that thing, Dorothy? Remember that? The canister that had the little things in it that flew into the tornado at the end of Twister that helped them be able to predict tornadoes? Well, here it is again. But that doesn't make any sense. It's 2024. Why are we still using technology from the 90s? Well, nostalgia. I'm like, okay, all right. But pointless nostalgia because it doesn't fucking make any sense. And then you have insulting nostalgia where you have literal dialogue from the first film that's just copied in the trailer. There's like an exchange between two characters, which is literally just the same as an exchange in the first film. I'm like, wow, great. Not even going to hide your laziness here. So yeah, that sucked. The rest of the TV spots and trailers, Monkey Man, not much to say about that. There was next to nothing new in terms of footage for that trailer. It's more the same stuff you already saw in the other trailer that already came out. And then the only other thing I want to mention is that Imaginary had a trailer that just dropped where they're taking shots at If. And I'm like, you're in no position to be taking shots at anyone. Because you look like a painfully generic, cheap, just awful horror movie. Like, oh, you're going to take this place of superiority? You don't deserve it. Because you look like shit. Every trailer that I've seen for Imaginary looks awful. The acting is bad. The directing looks bad. The plot just looks like the same shit you've seen a million times already when it comes to a horror film, especially from Blumhouse. Oh, a killer teddy bear? Wow. I am totally shitting my pants now in fear over the killer teddy bear. But, yeah, I mean, to be honest, most of the trailers are just kind of forgettable and disappointing, which fits because that's how the Super Bowl was. Oh, wow, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs win again. because Mahomes is inevitable, because he's the Thanos of the NFL. Wow, I definitely didn't see that coming. Just like I didn't see Kyle Shanahan choking again in the Super Bowl. But yeah, I mean, it's been kind of that year anyway. A lot of just kind of meh, disappointing stuff. More sequels, more reboots, more remakes, which just makes me think of the statement that Bob Iger made recently. Oh, we're making too many sequels. Yeah, you think? Uh, but we're not going to stop making sequels. Yeah, I can see that with over half of your announced films for the future being sequels. Shut up, you fucking hypocrite. Like, Bob Iger just needs to shut the hell up at this point. Like, anytime he opens his mouth, he's hurting Disney's stock. But anyway, I really don't know what else to say about this slate of Super Bowl trailers other than thanks for watching this video. And as always, I'll see you later. See ya.